जी जी जी, वो बिल्कुल समझ आ गया था, थैंक यू।
बस एक सेकंड है। अच्छा चलो, मरियम मौजूद है। चलिए स्टार्ट करें। मार्च 20, ठीक है।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
इस्लाम। और 9701 मार्च 20, क्वेश्चन पेपर 1 2, ठीक है। स्टार्टिंग विद द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, वो तो आई गेस इट्स वेरी इजी। क्या है इसका आंसर? आई थिंक आयरन इज 26।
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be what?
So you have. So I think it's gonna be because it's losing 3 electrons.
हाँ ठीक है।
So that will be A.
ठीक है, that's going to be it. अच्छा, next one. Which hydrocarbon are the For which hydrocarbon the molecular and empirical formula the same? ठीक है, इसका बताओ। What's the formula for butane?
Butane will be C2H8. No, is it C4H9 H9? No, H10. Sorry, H10.
It's a C4H10. What's the empirical
Mm-hmm.
formula for butane? Like, what's the simplest ratio?
That
इसका
will be C2H5.
ठीक है, so they're not the same. ठीक है, तो पहला गलत है। What about ethane? What's the formula for
Mm-hmm.
ethane?
Ethane is 2, so C2H6.
And what's the empirical formula?
CH3.
ठीक है, तो
CH3.
ठीक है, that's also wrong. They're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Pentwanene क्या होता है? What's the formula for pentwanene?
Pent1ene, that's like you have the carbon bond like in between the first and the second carbon, like the double bond. So that
लेकिन
would
what's
be
what's the what's the formula?
C5,
C5.
C5H10,
So the empirical formula would be what? C1H2, right?
CH2, CH2, yeah.
अच्छा, not the same. So obviously last is
Mm-hmm.
propane क्या होता है? What is propane?
Propane. Propane is 3, so C3H6.
8.
No, H8. H8,
हाँ,
sorry.
2 plus 2, 8. And the empirical formula is going to be exactly the same because it cannot be simplified. ठीक है, clear है? I mean, that is the simplest ratio. 3:8 cannot be simplified. ठीक है। अच्छा, next one. Which molecule does not have any 90-degree or 180-degree bond angle? ठीक है। तो पहले तो what is the
Okay.
shape of, I mean C2H6. I'm going to draw C2H6. तो बताओ C2H6 में, like it's ethane, right? तो what is the bond angle in this case? 4 bonds होते हैं तो क्या angle होता है?
I think it's 90 degrees. 90 degrees.
नहीं, if you have 4 bonds, so the angle is tetrahedral. I mean
Tetrahedral.
the shape is tetrahedral. तो
Okay. So 120.
नहीं, tetrahedral में the angle is sorry,
109.
tetrahedral में the angle is 109.5, ठीक है।
Okay.
तो but इसकी जो actual shape होगी ना of C2H6, then there's going to be another carbon and that's going to be tetrahedral as well, right?
Yeah.
So both of them would be tetrahedral and the angle would be 109.5. So it's definitely not 90 degrees, ठीक है।
Mm-hmm.
तो यही आंसर है। उसने भी कहा था this molecule does not have 90-degree or 180-degree bond angles, ठीक है।
Yeah.
तो that is A. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड की शेप क्या होती है?
Carbon dioxide. And that's planar, like straight
हाँ,
line,
ठीक
linear,
है, लीनियर, इट्स कॉल्ड लीनियर, ठीक है, दैट्स
or
व्हाट आई मीन।
V-shaped.
नहीं, इट्स नॉट वी
Is it
शेप।
V-shaped?
नहीं, it doesn't have any lone pairs, so one bond is on the right side, the other bond will be repelled and will be on the complete opposite side, ठीक है।
I have a question. What's gonna be the shape of Cl2O?
Neither
Is it
that's
V-shaped as well? No, it's another. I was solving a paper today and they were asking me what's the shape of Cl2O. Is it V-shaped?
there is no such thing as CO2O.
No, Cl2O.
Acha, Cl2O. I mean this thing, right?
Chlorine.
That is
Yeah.
shape QK oxygen, and you
Okay.
got two Cls attached. The reason it's V-shaped is because
Okay.
it has two lone pairs, right? So it's going to push the bonds downwards. So,
Okay.
and the angle would be 104.5 in this case.
Okay.
ठीक है?
Thank you. Yeah.
अच्छा, अगला वाला I'm going to do all of them. PF5. What's the shape of PF5? 5 bonds.
I think no, it's not octahedral. Is it
It's-
tetrahedral?
No, it's trigonal bipyramidal. It's basically three
Okay.
fluorines in a fan shaped like trigonal planar that's 120 degrees, and then there's going to be one fluorine on top of the fan and one fluorine at the bottom of the fan. So they would be making 90-degree angles with the fan that's in the middle, okay?
Okay.
Or SF6 is octahedral.
Okay.
Like that's all angles are 90 degrees. One bond out of the page, one going into the page, right? So SF6 would be octahedral. Anyways, A was the answer. Acha, next one. Let me rub this off. अच्छा, इसका क्या होगा? What is the enthalpy of decomposition? For this decomposition, now this one I guess requires a Hess cycle, ठीक है? You need to draw a Hess cycle because two enthalpy changes are provided to you. अच्छा, पहले वाले में if you look at NaHCO3, it reacts with HCl. So I've got NaHCO3. If it reacts with HCl, what is going to be formed? It's going to form NaCl plus H2O plus CO2 or 2 से multiply कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? So if it reacts with two HCl molecules, the first reaction says that this is what's going to happen, and the enthalpy change is minus 38.97. And multiplied by 2. You can a double kill. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And on the other side, I've got Na2CO3. Now, if that Na2CO3 reacts with HCl, and again 2HCl, okay, look at the reaction above. So it is 2H. One Na2CO3 reacts with 2HCl. So if it reacts with 2HCl, you're going to get the same thing. You're going to get 2 NaCl plus H2 and CO2, right? And the enthalpy change for that reaction is minus 96.59 kilojoules per mole. Right? So your Hess cycle is... So we need to find the enthalpy change of this. What does the Hess law state that one path is equal to the other path?
Enthalpy change, yeah, minus 96.59 minus the other one.
No, it's going to be, I mean, this arrow, I have to go from this point to this point, right? So I'm going to take this alternate path. So it's going to be minus 38.97 times.
Yeah, so it will be...
And this arrow direction has to change. So it's going to be plus 90.
It will be minus 77.
But is that clear? This arrow direction has to change. So Kiara, what do we get for this answer?
No, minus 38.97 times 2 is 77.94.
Kitna?
I said minus 38.97 times 2 is 77.94.
That's just add 96.59.
Okay. 18.65 positive.
ठीक है. Ayan, ये clear है?
C.
Is clear है?
Yes.
ठीक है, just remember Hess law में one path is equal to the other path. उसने they gave you two reaction. NaHCO3 reacting with HCl to form this, and Na2CO3 reacting with HCl to form this. So we had this green arrow na ye path follow karna hai, theek hai? So you'll be, and you had to change the direction of this thing. I said next one, oxidation states. Tell me the oxidation state of V in VO2 plus. मतलब VO2 plus में what is B? X होगा.
Will be
Oxygen
positive 2.
-2. Oxygen is -2 times 2. And the entire thing is equal to +1.
Okay. Yeah.
Plus क्या आएगा? +5.
+1 minus. Yeah.
अच्छा, so it's so when
So
you
I
go
think
+5 to +3, right?
it's between C and D.
अच्छा, sorry,
Yeah.
+5 to +3 to COD. And the other one, sulfur dioxide. What is the oxidation
Yeah.
of sulfur over there? मतलब ये
I
क्या हो
think
गया?
it's positive. No, negative 2.
ये -2 times 2. Total charge is equal to 0.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
ठीक है. तो बस फिर it's going to be D.
Yeah. +4.
You don't need to check the
D.
last. अच्छा, this one. What are the units for Kc? What is the expression for Kc in this case? Kc क्या होता है? It's the product concentration divided by reactant concentration.
Yeah.
So you've got Ag, NH3 twice, uski concentration plus, and you've got Cl -1 concentration, that's the product, divided by the reactant, which is NH3 concentration, that's going to be squared.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to include AgCl because it's a solid, ठीक है? Solid को बीच में नहीं डालते. तो it's not going to
Yes.
have any units क्योंकि ऊपर concentration times concentration और नीचे it's concentration squared. So all the concentrations are going to get cancelled out. ठीक है? Clear?
Yes.
I said next one. Next one is sodium azide decomposes as shown. Which volume of nitrogen measured temperature at room temperature, so it's RTP, will produce 150 will be produced by 150 grams of. तो पहले तो ये 150 grams में कितने moles होंगे of sodium azide? So 150 divided by
It has 2 moles. No, I mean 2.
by the MR here,
Oh,
23
sorry. Sodium. Yeah.
3 plus 14 times 3.
Yeah.
That's over MR. कितने moles आ रहे हैं for sodium azide? That's this thing.
That is 2.30.
2.30? Are you sure? 2.30. ठीक है.
Yes.
Now, according to the mole ratio, क्या पूछते हैं? Nitrogen gas का volume, right? So nitrogen moles 2:3, right? So 2.3 divided by 2 multiplied by 3, that 2:3, right? So what do you get?
Sir, that will be 3.45.
So this comes out to be 3.45 moles.
3.45.
Since you have moles, the volume किसका निकलेगा? 24 dm3, right?
Yes. That is 82.8.
Okay, so the answer would be B. सही है?
That would be 83, yeah.
Next one, N5 plus has been produced by a research chemist. What structure is most likely to show the electron arrangement of N5 plus? Which one is N5 plus? बस इसमें बताओ कि N के outermost shell में, ठीक है, valence shell, it's got 5 electrons, right? So if you've got 5 N's, so we're talking about a
Yes.
total of 25 electrons. But since it's plus 1, so that means there's 1 electron lost. So इसका मतलब है total electrons should be 24.
Yep.
So four of the N's will have 5 electrons. One of them will have 1 electron missing. So starting with, let's start with this one. इसमें इस N का 1 electron missing है. It's not got 5, it's got 4. तो ये
4.
हाँ इसके पूरे हैं. That's 1 2 3 4 crosses. Next one, it's also
5.
5. उससे next one, that's also 5. And the next one is also 5.
5.
तो हाँ वो clear है, लेकिन वो कह रहे हैं stable ion is produced. The problem ये है कि this one has 8 electrons in its outer shell. This one has how many electrons in its outer shell? ये जो बीच, this one, this N over here,
I
that's got
think
6, right?
it has 6, yes.
और ये N वाला तो it also has 6. So it's not going to be
6.
stable. क्या होता है when the outer shells are complete, right?
Complete.
So although this is N5 plus, it's not stable, ठीक है? Stable I think is important. तो अगला वाला कर लो कि you got
It's
5.
C.
Steam is it's all 8 electrons, right? 8
Yes.
has 8. All of them have 8 electrons in the outer shell. इसके first वाले 5 हैं. Second one also has 5 electrons in its outer shell. Third one has
Yes.
4. तो उसका 1 electron missing.
Yeah.
The next one also has 5. उससे next one also has 5. ठीक है, तो it is plus 1. So C C is the answer. ठीक है. Is this clear?
Yes.
अच्छा अगला part. This is PV equal to nRT. ठीक है.
Okay.
तो अच्छा मेरी शोर बहुत है पीछे. Uh, well, you can use the space bar to unmute. Achha, there is 1.8 grams of water heated to 227 in a sealed container, turns to steam with a pressure of 200 kilopascal. What is the approximate? So PV is equal to nRT basically. So the pressure is given, it's 200 kilopascals. So that's 200 times 10 power 3 pascals. The volume you need to find out, N moles you can find out because mass is given, so 1.8 grams divided by the MR, which is 18, so N. R is 8.31. Or temperature कितना होना चाहिए? That should be in Kelvin. So I'm going to add 273 to it. तो कितना हो जाएगा? That's 500 Kelvins कितना होगा? अच्छा, it's going to be 500 Kelvins. तो इसका V निकालो जरा, क्या आ रहा है? और मीटर क्यूब में, so V is going to be in meter cube. यान क्या आ रहा है? मेरा हिल
I got 2 point. I don't think my answer is correct. But is that 500 Kelvin?
That is, I think it is 227 centigrade. You convert it into Kelvin, so you add 273. तो क्या 500 ही होगा ना? What are you getting?
I'm calculating it again.
यान किया कैलकुलेट या मिनाहिल?
I got 2.0775 times 10 raised to power 3 because I got this again. I calculated before and I got the same
10
answer.
पर 10 पर 3 or 10 पर -3?
-3.
It's B basically. I mean, you got 2.07, right? इसका चेक कर लेते हैं.
I think it's B.
1 second, let me open the. You answer question number 9. So 9 is B. ठीक है, so 2.07. ठीक है, is this clear? तो अगला है कि when the equation is correctly balanced, what is the value of C? So now you've got a redox reaction and you have to balance it. You have to balance this particular redox reaction. So how would you? Actually, you don't. I don't think you have to like completely balance it, क्योंकि
They're just asking us for the value of C.
हाँ, मैं एक चीज देख रहा हूँ कि do I it's since it's a redox reaction, there are two ways of balancing it. लेकिन उसने ना एक नंबर दे दिया पहले से, and that's 2. So would that 2 be helpful in balancing the entire equation? That's what I'm looking for. So मुझे वैसे बताओ कि oxidation states, we can just use oxidation states. Mn की oxidation state
Okay.
क्या है? If you calculate the oxidation state of Mn, that's +7. Over here, Mn is
Okay.
+2. So that means it gained how many electrons? It gained 5 electrons, right?
5.
अच्छा, C2H4 में बताओ, what is the oxidation state of carbon in C2H4? Like if I have C2H4, so it's going to be
That
2x
will be 2x
and
plus
+1 times
4.
and equals to
4.
0. Right? So क्या होगा? It's going to be 2x is equal to
That will
minus
be
-2,
that will
right?
be -4. Yeah, -2 divided by 4. -2.
अच्छा, और फिर C2H6O2. What's the oxidation
Okay.
state of carbon over there? So that's 2x
So we have 2x plus 6
-4
plus -4 equals to
equals 0.
0.
So 2x is equal to कितना हो जाएगा? Equal to -2.
That will be -2. So that will be -1.
And x would be -1. Is this just 1 second, double checking this? It's ठीक है, x comes out to be -1. So that means carbon over here is -1. अच्छा, so electrons gain and loss should be equal. So carbon over here goes from -2 to -1. So that means it lost electrons. It
Lost electrons.
lost exactly 1 electron, right?
Mhm.
तो अब Mn की क्वांटिटी कितनी है? Mn उसने डबल किया मैंने इक्वेशन में. He already put 2 over here. So that means Mn is doubled. So the amount of electrons that are being gained, how many electrons are being gained? That's 10, right? Is that clear?
Yes.
So there should be 10 electrons being lost as well.
Yes.
So this has to be multiplied by 10. So I need to have 10 carbons in total. So A की value क्या होगी? A is going to be 5.
5.
If I put 5 over here, I'm going to get 10 carbons, ठीक है? और फिर यहाँ पे भी D would be 5, right? Is that clear? और अब बाकी चीज़ों को बैलेंस कर लो, ठीक है? So oxygens, how many oxygens do I have now? 10 हो गए हैं,
10.
right?
Yes. 5 times 10. Yes.
तो 8 यहाँ पे पहले ही है. So I need 2 oxygens over here. So B would be 2. So that
B would be 2 here.
and then finally H, I can balance H. कितने H है यहाँ पे? That's 6 into 5. That's
6 into 5, that's 30.
30 H's, right? So I've got
Yeah.
5 into 4, 20 H's over here. 2 into 2, that's
2.
4.
4.
So 20 यहाँ पे, 4 यहाँ पे, that's 24. So there should be 6 H's, 30 करने के लिए. So C is going to be 6.
I think that's D. So D is the answer.
ठीक है, so D is the answer. But is this clear that well, it just this one took a long time, ठीक है? I was just thinking if I don't think it would have been possible to just balance it right straight away. That would be
Okay.
impossible. ठीक है, redox equations generally or they cannot be balanced in the normal way, ठीक है? So you have to come up with the amount of electrons gained and lost, and then you balance it, ठीक है? Is this clear? This one?
Okay. Yes.
So अगला कि main stage in the Carnot process is this equilibrium reaction. Achha, what does the presence of a catalyst do to the equilibrium yield of the reaction?
It's to increase the yield.
It has no
No,
effect.
it has no effect. No effect. No effect. Yeah.
Okay, both forward and backward reaction would speed up equally.
Yes.
If I use a higher pressure, where will the equilibrium shift?
It will shift forward.
Okay, so it increases.
Like it will, increases yield.
And higher temperature, this one, although I mean, you should know that all.
If you lower the temperature, that's when it will move forward. But if you higher it, I think.
Yeah, higher temperature किसको favor करता है? It favors the endothermic reaction.
Endothermic.
ठीक है, now
Which is
remember,
backward.
in the contact and Haber process, all reactions are exothermic. So the forward reaction is actually exo. So the endo one is actually the backward in this case.
Backward one. Yeah.
So it decreases yield, okay?
So B.
As the next one, X and Y are oxides of different pH 3 elements. If 1 mole of X is added to water, the solution formed is neutralized by exactly 1 mole of Y. What could be the entity of... So he adds 1 mole of X and he says that neutralized by 1 mole of Y. So... So... And added to water, right? As the first one, P4O10.
Yes.
If I add P4O10 to water, okay, how much... What acid would be formed if I put it in water?
Phosphoric acid.
Okay, so it's going to form phosphoric acid, H3PO4. So it's going to be 4 phosphoric acid molecules, right?
Yes.
क्योंकि यहाँ पे P4 आ रहा है ना, and you can
P4. Yes.
So that's 12 H's, so there's going to be 6 H2O, ठीक है? अच्छा, but anyways, you're going to get 4 phosphoric acid molecules. So I'm going to look and see कि जो Al2O3 है, if it reacts with phosphoric acid, it will form aluminium phosphate.
Aluminum phosphate and...
So aluminium phosphate is, this is +3, this is -3, so that's it. And water,
cancel it. Water.
अच्छा, इसको अगर balance करें, so there's going to be 2 aluminiums?
Yes, because it has
double.
2 there.
And I'm going to get 3 water molecules, okay? So the point is, my 4 phosphoric acid molecules are not getting used up. I just need 2.
Okay.
तो गलत हो गया ना, क्योंकि उसने कहा था कि 1 mole ऐड करोगे ना तो exactly 1 mole of Y. But it's not getting...
But we are getting... Yeah.
हमारे बच गए हैं. I mean, not all of them
4.
are getting... I mean,
Yes.
2 of them are still left. So A is definitely not the one. SO3 को पानी में डालो, what acid is formed?
Sulfuric acid.
Okay, so it's going to form sulfuric acid, H2SO4. And just one molecule, right? So if I add it to Al2O3, and
it's balanced.
Is it one? Will the one sulfuric acid get used up? Just a second. It's going to form aluminium
sulfate.
Sulfate. Aluminum sulfate is this thing. Al is +3, SO4 is -2, so it's going to be Al2, SO4 thrice plus.
SO4 3. Water.
Plus अच्छा, अब इसको अगर बैलेंस करें ना तो SO4 thrice हुआ है, so वो फिर से वही क्योंकि I need more sulfuric acid, वो एक से काम नहीं चलेगा. Is that clear?
Yes.
So B is not the answer, ठीक है? डायरेक्ट चलते हैं डी पे, हर किसी को करने का फायदा नहीं है। डी इज SO3 forms, D is the answer. Because
Is the answer?
because SO3 forms, if I add water to it, it forms the ऊपर वो है। SO3 forms one sulfuric acid, right?
Yes.
और ये NO2 वो क्या करता है? NO2 if you add it to water, it forms 2 NaOH.
Yeah. 2 moles of sodium hydroxide.
अच्छा, तो अभी देखते हैं do they react completely? You got 2
Okay.
NaOH. So the sulfuric acid and NaOH equation is balanced if you have
NaSO4. I mean NaOH plus.
Na2SO4
yeah.
plus H.
Na2SO4, yeah.
तो वो 2 NaOH ही होता है ना, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, these two are going
It's
to
balanced.
completely neutralize each other, right?
Yes.
So D is
So it's D.
the अच्छा, next one. अच्छा, अभी तक both this question was time consuming. This question was also time consuming, ठीक है, because I don't think there was any workaround. You had to make the equation, you had to balance them. And only then would you have known, ठीक है. अच्छा, compound Z is insoluble in water but soluble at low pH. What could be compound Z? Firstly, it's insoluble. Which
Yes. So
compounds
it's
here are insoluble?
barium carbonate.
Carbonates are insoluble and
Yes. And
sulfate, ठीक
I
है.
think sulfate. Yeah.
Remember, chlorides and hydroxides are soluble.
Soluble.
Low pH का क्या मतलब? Low pH means acid. So which one
Acidic. Yeah.
do you think? Carbonate or sulfate? Which one reacts with an acid?
I think. I think it would be sulfate.
नहीं, sulfates का कोई reaction नहीं होता acid से. Acids का reaction होता है. It's either going to be a metal plus acid reaction, a metal oxide plus acid reaction, a metal carbonate plus acid reaction, or ammonia plus acid, ठीक है? मैं दिखा भी दूं.
Okay.
कि remember reactions: acid plus base, metal oxide, metal hydroxide, metal carbonate with metal, acid with ammonia, ठीक है? They don't react with sulfates, ठीक है? There is no reaction with sulfates, ठीक है? Is this clear? तो low pH acid के अंदर ना the
Yes.
carbonate will dissolve, right?
Yep.
That's the next one. Hot aqueous NaOH reacts with chlorine. Which statement is correct? The chlorine की oxidation number क्या है यहाँ पे in Cl2?
That will be -4. But then
Cl
it's 3. So that
zero
will
है.
be.
If it's an element in its neutral state, the oxidation state is 0. यहाँ पे Cl is -1, and in NaClO3,
Yes.
Na is group 1, so it's +1, Cl is X, and oxygen is -2 times 3, so that's equal to 0.
Yes.
The X comes out to be equal to +5, ठीक है? तो ये याद रखना कि oxidation state,
+5.
if it's a neutral element all alone, then it's 0. It doesn't have a charge.
Yes.
Oxidation states only
Yes.
are positive or negative if it's a compound, ठीक है?
Okay.
So the oxidation number of only chlorine is changing, ठीक है? क्योंकि यहाँ पे H is +1, O is -2, Na is +1, Na is +1 over here. They're not changing. Their oxidation states are not changing. Only chlorine is changing, ठीक है? Not hydrogens. The oxidation numbers of chlorine in the products are -1, yes, but not +1. It's actually +5. If the aqueous NaOH is cold,
Yes.
the reaction produces NaClO instead. ये true है. ये inorganic reaction है, ठीक है? If I open
Yeah.
open the notes
Yes.
for inorganic, वो एक दफा देख भी लें halogens
Yeah,
का
yeah.
कि in
It produces that.
this disproportionation in cold NaOH, chlorine, if you put it in cold NaOH, it will produce NaClO. In hot NaOH, higher temperature, it produces NaClO3, ठीक है? तो
Okay.
ये ठीक है, ये वाला सही है. As a solid ammonium nitrate is put into a test tube and solution X is added to it, the resulting mixture is warmed in gas. It's a test for nitrate, ठीक है? It's a test for ammonium ions.
It's a test for ammonium. Yeah.
ये data sheet में ना, if you look at the test for ammonium ions, so you put NaOH and you get ammonia gas produced on warming, ठीक है? तो ये अमोनिया का टेस्ट कर रहा है. तो अब ये बताओ कि why does ammonium nitrate react with ammonium salts? They react with bases. Why
Yep.
does that happen? The reason it happens is कि ये जो OH है ना, NH4, the NH4 loses an H and it becomes NH3, while the OH gains an H and
Ammonia
becomes water. ठीक है?
gains H, becomes water.
It's an acid-base reaction.
Yep.
The OH over here gets an H from ammonium ions. यानी actual reaction, and it's basically ammonium ions reacting with OH ions. The ammonium ions, they lose an H plus 1 and they become ammonia, while the OH gains an H plus 1 and becomes water. Is this clear? So
Yes, sir.
the identity of X, that's NaOH, and role of X, that's a proton acceptor. ठीक है? So it's B.
Proton acceptor, yes.
मतलब OH जो है ना, that is accepting a proton. ठीक है? It's an acid-based reaction.
Yes.
अच्छा, उससे next वाला क्या है कि sodium, magnesium, and aluminum are three elements in three of the periodic table. Each element forms an oxide. Sodium oxide क्या होता है? Is it कौन से correct है? Is it basic? Metal
Sodium
oxide?
oxide,
हाँ, they are basic, right?
yes.
मतलब ये
And magnesium is not amphoteric.
magnesium oxide is also basic. मतलब sodium oxide, magnesium oxide are basic. Aluminum oxide is amphoteric. ये जो non-metal oxides हैं, they are acidic. ठीक है?
Yes.
So sodium oxide is also giant ionic, but since it's ionic, it's got a high melting point as well. Plus, it reacts. All four are correct. Sodium oxide readily dissolves in water, turns into NaOH. ठीक है? Magnesium oxide is not amphoteric. It's basic. It's also giant ionic. It's also got a high
Yes.
melting point, and it also has a very slight reaction with water.
Slight reaction with water.
क्योंकि magnesium oxide जो है ना, वो soluble नहीं है. ये कहाँ पे water के साथ? Magnesium oxide with water it only forms a very weak alkali. It's not soluble in water. It barely forms magnesium hydroxide. ठीक है?
Okay.
तो अभी तक तो we haven't. Aluminum oxide is amphoteric, right? It's also giant ionic. It's got a very high melting
Yes.
point as well. And it has no reaction with water. So
No
I think
reaction with water. So the answer is D.
the answer is D. ठीक है? अच्छा, अगला वाला. A student investigates calcium nitrate crystals by heating it. तो पहले तो हीट करोगे तो what is the equation for decomposition of a nitrate?
You will get carbon dioxide.
नहीं, nitrate.
No, sorry, nitrate, nitrogen oxide.
ठीक है? It's going to form Na2 and O2 as well, right?
Yes.
So अच्छा, a colorless gas leaves the apparatus. So I guess which observations would the student make? There's a water with litmus paper. So this is an acidic gas, right?
Yes. Because there is
So the water would
what's
change to red, right?
change to red, yes.
और फिर ऑक्सीजन गैस है तो फ्लेम को क्या होगा? What will happen to
So
the
flame, I think flame will be like C, yeah, burns more brightly.
It will burn more brightly, ठीक है?
Yeah.
अच्छा, how does concentrated sulfuric acid behave when it reacts with NaCl? ये वाला रिएक्शन कहाँ गया? Halogens का this reaction. Concentrated sulfuric acid when it reacts with NaCl, it behaves as an acid.
Acid.
ठीक है? It donates an H+1, gives it to Cl and HCl gas mixed nitrogen का form, ठीक है? तो it behaves
Okay.
as acid. वो नीचे जाते हुए ना Br-1 and I-1, they become very good reducing agents. तो उस केस में क्या होता है कि Br-1 they start reducing sulfuric acid instead of reacting it with an acid, ठीक है? तो
Okay.
as an acid only, ठीक है?
A.
अच्छा, और Haber process, which statement about nitrogen or its compound is correct?
Okay,
You
which ni-
अच्छा, इसमें होता है कि Haber process में it's a exothermic reaction in
ammonia.
forward direction,
Yeah.
right? If you
Yes.
keep a higher temperature, the equilibrium will shift backwards. It would favor the endothermic reaction. So
Mm-hmm.
so the temperature is kept high not because you want a good equilibrium yield, but because you want a good rate. ठीक है?
Yes.
वरना तो
So I
exothermic
think
B ठीक है ना?
B. Yeah, I think B.
ठीक है. बस ये last कर रहे थे, which pair of compounds are functional group isomers of each other? Functional
Okay.
group has to be different.
So I think let's try butanol and butanol.
Butan 1-ol क्या होता है? That's 4 carbon atoms
C, yeah, C4.
or OH.
OH.
अच्छा, butanol would be 4 carbon atoms and
Or
it's an
carbon atoms, yes.
aldehyde, right? अच्छा, these are not isomers क्योंकि दोनों के अंदर number of H different है. So
Yes.
they're not isomers, ठीक है?
Yes. So let's see. Ethyl propanoate and pentanoic acid.
अच्छा, ethyl जो है ये वाली side होगी, that's 2 carbon atoms. This would be 3 carbon atoms, propanoate. It's an ester, ठीक है? और pentanoic acid is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
3. I mean 5.
और मतलब अच्छा, remember esters and carboxylic acid are functional group isomers, ठीक है? They've got the same number
Yeah.
of carbon atom and the functional group is different, so B is the answer, ठीक है? Clear है?
Yeah. Yes.
Hex1 and hex2 are basically positional isomers. They have the same functional group,
Yes.
but the position is different, ठीक है? चलो ठीक है, ये फिर कल करते हैं continue. We're done with 20 questions for this time, ठीक है?
Yes.
So चलो ठीक है, let's continue tomorrow. Okay then, take care.
Glasses.
Okay. Sir, I wanted to say that are we going to be having classes from, like, according to Pakistan time, 10:15, like you said?
We'll make it 10:15, ठीक है?
Sir, the thing is, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I have extra classes till 6 in school,
So just
which is like 10.
अच्छा, message me your time, ठीक है? At what time you're available, ठीक है? Just send me a message.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
I think 11 is okay. Like yesterday we agreed.
अच्छा, चलो ठीक है, we can work with that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.